play and call it work.
Hey everybody, Matthew and Lee here from MiniWarGaming.com with another update to the Epic 40K table. And I'm going to keep calling it the Epic 40K table, even though some people are like, I hope that they're going to have this big reveal that is actually for the game Epic
40K.
A 40K, yeah. But it's not, I'm sorry. Although it would be kind of funny if you made just like a little table and like put it inside somewhere as like an Easter egg and have like a couple Space Marines playing Epic on the table. I think we should do that. But anyway, or if somebody wants to make that and send it in, then we'll stick it in there and we'll have it as an Easter egg. So any volunteers, just go ahead. But anyway, so no, this is not Epic 40K. This is an Epic 40K table.
You could just add the comma into the thing.
There's no comma though. It's an Epic 40K table.
Know,
it's not grammarly correct if we say Epic, comma 40K table, because that would be like it's Epic and it's 40K table. No. It's an Epic 40K table. Anyways, let's get to actually showing what our progress is from this week. Now, Lee got a little busy this week because I was having him rebase a bunch of square-based miniatures to circular-based miniatures. So for Age of Sigmar. So sorry, Warhammer Fantasy fans. Yeah, for the good game, not for that old dead bad game. Nobody plays that anymore, right? And nobody has any passion for it whatsoever. And so you did spend 2 or 3 days just doing that. So we're only looking at 2 or 3 days worth of work, but still impressive what you're able to get done since last week. So I had him set everything up. I know you've already seen the crane and you've already seen this piece. So we're going to take those off right now and we're going to show you what he's basically done for the back area right there. Oh, and while he's taking those off, before I cut out to that, notice how he just picked it up and took it off the table. We've had several comments saying, how are you going to be able to play on this table? It looks like it's going to be too crowded. First off, we're only going to play probably a couple games on the full table, and then every once in a while we'll bring it back. But you're right, it is very crowded. It'll be great for a narrative game, but then after that, all those pieces, they come off and they become modular terrain. Even this big one, which we are now going to show. So the new part that you worked on is you finished most of the gate, and you also made this back area. So why don't you pull it apart to show everybody how it all fits together? I haven't done this by the time. So yeah, so those are all hinges. So you can see right now that there will be some designs in there. We're obviously not going to have Lee do all the designs of all the stuff you're not going to see, but we'll have the immediate area in here visible for when it's open. Mm-hmm. And then you can pull that off. So that piece right there is not going to be attached to the table. So we could take this and we can stick it in the corner and we could have it as a piece of terrain. So that is a piece of terrain. So right there, we could just do that and be boom. Now we've got a fortress wall at the corner of one of our tables. Yep. And then on top of that, these are not going to be attached to that. They're going to come off. So you'll have these two. And even though they're attached as one big piece, why don't you show what it looks like when you stick it on, turn it around and stick it on a corner. So you could just stick it on a corner. And we have 2 of them, so we could stick one on each corner and stick the gate in the middle, like right up against the side. Yep. There are so many options for what you can do with this, but they will be, and you're going to be putting railings on the back.
You're putting like stairs and stuff.
Yeah, here. All sorts of stuff there to make it more useful that way. And so yeah, so this is what we mean by modular. None of this is going to be glued down. The table will be designed to hide the modularity of it, which will make the table not modular. But yeah, all the terrain. The board is going to be only really useful for one way to set up the terrain. It's the one piece that's kind of a waste of storage space, but it's kind of required to make this table look super awesome. And then lastly, you've got the big piece, which we're going to show you in a second. So as you lift this whole thing up, why don't you explain exactly what it is?
This is the foundation for the second level of the fort. Because and it had to be load bearing, so I had to fill it up with stuff.
So what else are you going to do to fortify? We were talking before that you still have things to do to make it stronger.
Yeah, I'm going to put some struts in, just corner struts, so these don't wobble too much.
Yeah.
But it's actually pretty.
Yeah, it's when you're talking about adding plastic miniatures and plastic terrain, yeah, it's going to be pretty good.
It's going to be heavy, but it's not going to be super heavy.
Right.
So this is... Yeah, this is fun.
Any tips on constructing a superstructure like this?
Measure twice, cut once.
Measure twice, cut once? Yeah. Did you run into that problem a few times?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that you measured once and cut once. And there's also a few little things like this is one long strip that you didn't cut into small pieces. What exactly did you do there?
Well, because I have the foam core, and I have it in these strips. So what I did, I just measured like 9 or 10 centimeters and cut into it.
But not fully through it.
No, because it's 2-ply. So I just cut down to 1, and then I just broke it up.
So this is actually a good question, because I remember years ago when I was doing terrain, there's different kinds of foam core. There's the plastic coated one, and there's the paper coated one.
Yep.
So you're using the plastic coated one, right? No, you're using the paper coated one? So this is...
This is super easy to cut and work with.
Okay. But it also has a disadvantage that when you go to paint it, you got to be careful, because if you get it too wet, then it'll warp all over the place.
Yes.
And don't spray paint it either, because all that stuff in the middle...
Unless you cover it with something first.
That's true. Yeah. What do you think you're going to... Now, I know a lot of this won't get painted, because it's going to be hidden.
Yep.
But the parts that you do paint, what would you do to treat it first, or how would you paint it in order to preserve the shape and not worry about warping? And
I'd probably use Podge, it's called. Let's see if I have some here.
I know what that is, because my wife uses it in crafting. Mod Podge. So for those that probably won't have that brand name, what exactly is Mod Podge?
It's
Here, let's see the label. We can probably...
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is.
A water-based sealer, glue, and finish. So
it's kind of like PVA glue, but not.
What's the difference, do you think?
I'm not sure.
Is it just
This isn't
liquidy?
as tacky.
So, but if you're looking for what it is, if you don't have the brand Mod Podge, then matte.
Yeah.
It's 3 different languages. Water-based sealer, glue, and finish. This is a 16-ounce bottle. Used in all surfaces, non-toxic. Yeah, and I'm not sure if that's really going to tell us anything else about it.
But you can look it up online.
Yeah, there you go. There's the label, so you know what to look for. Here you go.
Yeah.
So you would cover it with that first to protect it and to make it stronger?
Yeah, just the seams though, because just like where the foam is, because I'm probably going to be using the Army Painter stuff.
The spray
now,
paints?
if you use airbrush paints, like the airbrush primer, you don't have to color it.
Would you not? Is the airbrush primer going to be too wet?
It doesn't. No, it
doesn't cause any warping. I just remember the reason I'm asking this is because years and years ago, Dave did a big project, and we didn't really know what we were doing. We still don't. And he made it all. He made a ton of buildings out of foam core, and they all looked awesome. And so then he took it wasn't spray paint. I think he took an airbrush to them all, and then they all warped like nuts.
Yeah.
So what do you think he did wrong that happened to him?
I'm thinking he went 1 thick coat instead of 2 or 3
thin coats.
Yeah.
Because you've painted foam core before, and you haven't had that problem.
No, ever.
So we'll get to it. We'll be having all the painting later on. I'm just trying to address this right now because I know that working with foam core can be tricky. It's nice and easy to use. It's easy to cut. It's easy to get what you want. But the painting part is where I've found in my experience that you can really screw it up. So there's your initial...
And it's more about when you're doing like a building, try to secure everything. So if you have like a square building, put struts in it.
Right.
Just like a triangle, put it in the corners.
So they can't warp.
Yeah.
Or at least it's harder to. Yeah. Or if you don't mind putting a base on the whole thing. I think if there was an MDF base on this, that would help to secure it as well. We're not going to bother with that just because
this is all going to slot into the table anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly. So cool. So you're going to be adding more struts and all of that stuff to it.
Yeah.
And so let's show on camera you kind of putting it together. So that drops down. And let's go grab one of the side pieces.
Figure out which one it is.
So then stick the one on the side. Oh, that's the other side.
Yep.
So they're cut slightly different.
I have to mark them somehow.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious when you go to put it down and it didn't fit. So we got the first piece right here.
There we go.
Now, why don't you grab the second piece and give us an idea, this is obviously not how it's going to fit, of what you're going to be doing next with this. It's going to go up another level. Now, this doesn't fit, obviously, but you are going to be using more bashing kits to do the next level. So that's going to be roughly the amount of space between the two.
Yeah.
So, but you're still going to have a railing going down the middle of it, or exactly how is that going to work?
This is going to be a floor. I'm going to cover it with my secret weapon.
What's your secret weapon?
It's...
Is that some sort of drywall?
Yeah, it's drywall spacing, so it holds the plaster.
Oh, yeah. So it's kind of like the idea of the grating.
Yeah.
You just place it down.
Place it down. You can cut it. It's just string, basically. And you can get this in most hardware stores.
Yeah, probably around the world.
Yeah.
Because everywhere, pretty much everywhere uses drywall.
So
all the temperate countries, at least. The tropical ones might not use drywall nearly as much, but I'm not sure actually. Australians, chime in. Do you guys use drywall or do you use something else because of heat and humidity? I'm not sure what's the difference.
so you lay this down. I'm gonna
Do lots of cuts.
yeah, and then you initially just paint it. Give it a dry brush, and it looks pretty similar to this.
Okay, you had mentioned a railing at one point, so because you had said that when you pull this out there would be a railing. So is that going to be a separate thing then?
It's going to be on here.
Oh, I see. So it's going to be
like,
at the back so that when you pull it out, it's still useful. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. And then this comes up to here, so you're going to have a second one of these that's smaller, and that's the final level, right?
Well, with the walls, and then there's going to be a tower, and then another tower.
Right. There'll be buildings on it,
yeah.
but as a level, that'll be the final main structure level. That'll look really cool. Look how tall that's going to get to.
Yeah,
that's a foot tall right there because those are 6 inches each. And there's a model. And yes, for playing purposes, that's going to be hard for a model to get from there to there, which is why this is a narrative board, and also why it's modular, because all those pieces, because even all those top pieces will be removable as well. You'll be able to make all sorts of different things with it, which is quite exciting. I'm very excited for it. So let's look at the gate a little more, because there's a few more details to show you. So what other details have you added since the last time we looked?
Get these out of here. Well, the last one, this was just one piece.
Oh, because somebody mentioned in the comments, you need to cut it in half to make it openable. But I think they even meant to cut it this way.
I'm not sure.
Not sure why you'd want to be able to open the top and then the bottom. Maybe a mail slot, doggy door. Who knows?
Like
Little doggy door.
a squeak door. Okay.
There's an animal going through.
Yeah. So it opens up like so.
And you got it on hinges, like actual door hinges.
Yeah, because I was wondering. I was thinking about, okay, how can I do hinges? How can I do hinges? Wait a minute.
Wait a second.
I have hinges.
Just do hinges.
Yeah, do hinges. Because
Yeah,
I was going to make some elaborate, like, out of plastic card tubing with inlays and stuff. So like, no, I'll just put
Just
hinges
use
on it.
hinges. That's cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the time it would take you would cost more than several hinges.
Yeah.
And then we got this flooring. What's this from?
That's from...
Is that more of the ground?
That's just actual flooring from... I'm not sure what it's called. Let's see. What's it called?
Oh, it's one of the kits.
Yeah. It's Imperial Sector floors.
Oh, okay. It's the Imperial Sector. So that's actual regular flooring. That's not you cutting it up from one of the big 2x2 tiles.
I could have, but I didn't.
I didn't need to. This looks good. Any other additions that you're going to be doing to this? Any more details?
Well, let's see. And this is actually from the Imperial S.
From the 2x2 board.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to get rid of the raccoon that was rummaging in the next room.
Rob the raccoon.
Yes. So what's the rest that you're going to be doing with this?
I'm going to be covering up these, obviously. I'm putting some more details on everything. And I'm going to be closing these up.
Yeah, there's no reason for them to be open, right?
Because I just got in a pretty big shipment of plastic cards, so I can just cut it up and put it in there. And I'm going to be putting actual glass into the windows.
Oh, cool.
Colored glass.
That'll look neat. Yeah, that'll allow us to use the kit from the front or the back.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about only being able to see it from one side. When you open the doors, it'll have some details there.
Yep.
So what's next on your list of things to do? What are you currently working on? What can we look forward to possibly seeing over the next week? Asterisks, subject to change.
Yeah. I'm going to be starting on the second level. Because I wanted to finish this first. Now this is done. And I'm going to do all the detail work at the same time, so I just finish all the details.
So the bastions and the plasticard superstructure as well.
And I'm probably going to do it as 2 pieces. Just for
modularity purposes. Yeah, that's a good idea. It'd be easier to use them as 2.
Yeah. So, and then I'm going to start figuring out what to do with the buildings that latch on.
Yeah, all the little extras to round it out.
Yeah, and I have to figure out how to do... Because those will be semi-modular, but not quite. Some of them, because they go like over 2 levels.
Right, and so they have to line up that way. Yeah, not everything's going to be perfectly modular, but we're at the end of this, we'll have basically a new set of terrain to play with that can be reconstructed and moved around or combined with other kits that we already have, which will look really nice. Okay, that's our update for this week.
And in the comments, if you have any suggestions for stuff, just write it down.
Yeah, we read all the comments here.
Yeah, if
Lee
it's a good
especially.
idea, I might actually utilize it. So, leave comments.
Yeah, leave those comments below. We'd love to see them, and let us know your suggestions or thoughts. Okay, thanks for watching. Thanks, Lee, for the update.
Yep.
We'll see you next week for more of the epic 40K table. Happy wargaming.